Hey everyone, sorry, real quick before this gets started, I wanted to say something. So, for this podcast, we recorded 2.5 hours worth of stuff. Now, as of right now, I haven't started editing, so I can't tell you how long the video actually is. Unfortunately, I had everything set up and everything was going right, and then when I went to stop recording it, I think OBS fucked up. I really don't know what happened, but unfortunately, my recording, which had good audio for me and recorded audio for Shiro, just didn't redo it. It only recorded 7 minutes, and oh my god, I was crying. I was so upset. Fortunately, Shiro recorded his side of the conversation, and it recorded my audio as well. Granted, my audio is kind of shit on his recording, but shit audio is better than no audio. So, unfortunately, for this debut episode, this highly anticipated 2.5 hour long podcast, I'm going to sound like absolute garbage. If we do future episodes, I'm going to do my best to make sure that I record my audio in a separate thing so that I at least have that. And I have no fucking clue how this happened in this way to begin with. But it's fixed, sort of. I can't really fix the audio in post. I can't really do any sound editing on this because it's fucked. But it's at least there. It's audible. So, not sponsored. So, anyway, without further fucking ado, here's the debut episode of All the Above with Shirokoi. I hope you enjoy.
Hello, my friends. My name is Dr. Link, the trained unprofessional, and welcome to my radio show turned opinion piece turned internet interview podcast. All the different hats have been worn by the show. It is all of the above, the newly revamped version, and I couldn't think of anyone better to start my debut episode of this new version of all of the above than a man to whom I credit a large majority of my internet success, my YouTube fame. He is the creator behind one of the most significant and compelling furry visual novels this side of the 21st century. He is a part-time exhibitionist, full-time student, yet somehow a one-man band, making and creating all the art, the writing, the whole process, the whole shebang, wears all the hats, for Repeat, one of the most popular series on my channel, as well as furry visual novels on the entire site. Shirokoi, thank you so much for joining me on this debut episode. How the hell are you doing as you sit naked in this chair? You sure know how to show up to an audio-only podcast.
Hello, yes, I am naked right now. You guys can't see on the webcam, of course, but yeah. I decided to spice things up a bit. But hello, yes, I am Shirokoi. I am that asshole.
Asshole.
Yep, thank you for having me aboard. I'm very excited to speak to y'all.
In your line of hobbying, that asshole might be a little more descriptive than you might have intended. So this is just the first run we have. We've only talked a couple times before this, so this may seem a little more slapdash, a little more Wild West style than originally intended, but we're going to try to get through a lot of stuff. The fan questions, as the viewers might have known, put out a video a while back, also shared it on Twitter, asking people for questions. So I have curated a lot of those. Those will be appearing a little bit later on. But I would be considered a sham as an interviewer if I did not, right off the bat, talk to you about some of the more obvious things to ask about your magnum opus, Repeat. Now, getting shit out of the way right off the bat, because a lot of people ask the same goddamn question, which is generalized as, what inspired everything? I want to know your thought process behind every single aspect of Repeat. Why did you start making a game in general? What inspired the specific themes? Tell me all you can, because everyone wants to know, what the fuck went into this?
Oh boy, well, the story isn't too special. Let's start off with why I made a game. So I started scripting Repeat in high school, shortly after I finished playing More Natsu, and I was like, this is really emotional. And visual novels are simple enough for me to make, someone who doesn't know how to code and can barely do anything technically difficult. So yeah, I started writing for a visual novel, and I decided to make Repeat. As for what inspired the theme of Repeat, I guess I put a lot of pieces of myself into each of the 3, 4, 5 characters. I mean,
You know your own story so well.
yes, this is the secret, guys. I have no idea what I'm fucking doing, but
This is a big improv act. He has no idea what's going on the entire time, but you've been doing pretty well so far.
thank you. Well, what inspired repeat? Well, I guess I can go with the theme. I mean, the theme is the act of finding your own self-worth in a pretty crazy world. I think that as the story goes on, you'll find that your 3 husbandos in repeat will have come across a few issues, and you will help them find their own self-worth and help them grow as people through their problems. I could have worded that a little more eloquently, but I think you get the point.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way of summarizing a compelling story. That's wonderful, and we'll get into some of the more specific parts of the story just a little bit down the road. But there is also a disclaimer that you and I wanted to get out of the way right off the bat. Something that apparently gets asked to you a lot on Curious Cat, as well as in my comments and in that video asking for questions, as well as basically every fucking episode. Can you address the Philip porn situation? Because I was going to omit this for the record. I was going to cut that shit out. But I mentioned it to you, and you were like, no, let me talk about this. So I was like, take it away. Address this shit for everyone listening.
All right, guys. Let's talk about Philip for a moment. All right, I get it. Visual novels, it's a dating sim. Y'all are expecting the porn, the dick, and the assholes. But let me say it first. There are other games out there with plenty of dicks, porn, and assholes. And Philip, let's talk about Philip's character, alright? Let's see. In his flashback, spoilers for Day 6, you flashback to him getting sexually abused and kidnapped and violently, mistreated. And I kind of get angry because I wonder what a person is thinking when they look at that and be like, where's the porn of him, though? Where's the porn of this horribly mistreated, traumatized character? Why can't we fuck Philip? And I'm like, this is a rape victim, and I want to treat his character in a respectful way, and I want to walk the path to recovery and treat the subject with a bit of maturity. So yeah, I get annoyed when people ask, where's the Philip porn? Will there be Philip porn? Probably, but not in the way you expect. And if you're going into this route just for the porn, I promise you, you will be the most disappointed person to play this game. Alright.
All right. Now that we got that shit out of the way, we can talk about some of the more relevant shit.
That was hysterical.
Yeah. What the way to start the tone. I made it a mission of mine to try to avoid any redundancies or repeats of any questions that were possibly asked before, but obviously there are going to be some overlaps because not everyone's going to scour your Curious Cat before they ask a question, if my fucking comment section is any indication. So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the specific themes of the storytelling in Repeat, because there are 3 in particular story elements that I find very interesting. The storytelling of flowers/plants play a huge role, obviously, where everyone has the different flowers, and then of course you have Idoise. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the prophecy-telling flower wish. There's of course wishing, and then time. It took me actually going through your Curious Cat to find out that Yucca, which is, I always was like, what the fuck kind of name is that for the main character? But it's actually eucalyptus. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to hear more about why your fascination about the language of flowers and plants, and why you find that to be such a compelling story telling element that you would include it so heavily in repeat.
I've always been really fascinated by the language of flowers, and I feel like they are a very useful symbolic tool for storytelling. And I feel like it's a fun way to slip in a little foreshadowing for the people who are fluent with the language of flowers. Like, for instance, Sissel's flower is the daffodil. By the way, his tattoo on his arm is horribly inaccurate. Daffodil stems don't look like that, but give me a break. But yeah, if you've noticed, Sissel's flower is a daffodil. Philip's flower are marigolds, and Owen's is the orange rose. Yep. And I think in the language of flowers, each of those flowers' meanings really contribute to the character and really tell you a bit about them. Like marigold is about like a bit of grief, a bit of like self-conflict, but also marigold represents creativity. And the other one is daffodils for Sissel. I think it represents spring, new beginnings, new hope for like to change your life. And that really represents Sissel, who is trying to get an education, get a good job, get like really create a career for himself out of like the poverty that's plagued him since childhood. So I think the language of flowers really does do a good job of representing my characters in a way that is interesting, and I think will keep my viewers intrigued. And they're also really good for foreshadowing, as I said before. Ginny's flower is the morning glory. If y'all raised morning glories before, you'll know what happens to Ginny soon.
Oh God.
And
Jesus fucking Christ.
Whoa! And also the forget-me-nots represent Yuka, whose full name, I mean not full name, but like comes from eucalyptus, the gum tree. I think is a very sturdy plant. I think that represents him pretty well. And forget-me-nots, well, that's a spoiler. I'm sure you'll find out sooner or later.
That was another thing. A lot of people were asking, like, when's this going to happen? Or what's going to happen on this route? I'm not asking him for spoilers, guys. If you want to know the fucking... I know it's when you're invested in a story, it sucks when you have to wait to turn the page. But the page hasn't been fucking written yet, God damn it. Just be patient.
You want spoilers? The pigeon's the killer. Ginny was your mom the whole time. Echo is a bean. Like, a bean. I don't know. Go for it.
I think one of my favorite lines is this atheist talking to like a religious zealot, just like, I've read the Bible. Yeah, I peeked at the end. The devil did it.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's the element of wishing. Be careful what you wish for. And I don't know, I'm probably just a fucking idiot, but a lot of the more subtle elements of storytelling was lost on me, partly because I played the game in bits and pieces, which is an unfortunate thing that makes me lose some of the more subtleties of the game that I usually find in editing, is the wishes all seem to come from different places. Wishing well, Halley's Comet, fucking the cranes, shooting star, stuff like that. Wishes is obviously a huge part of this game. So what drew you to the appeal of wishes, and what, elaborate more on the significance of that storytelling element?
Let's talk about Owen. Yeah, spoilers for Owen's route, up to the current day, I guess. Yep. Owen's wish is 1,000 paper cranes, and that's 1,000 paper cranes traditionally comes from a Japanese culture where they fold 1,000 paper cranes for a sick loved one, and hopefully a wish will be granted and they will get better. And I feel like that really fits Owen's whole journey, because 1,000 paper cranes, it is a collective, it is multiple things. Owen's whole conflict comes from his family, a group of people that's very close to him, and I think as the story goes on, you'll find that pieces of the character really show in their wishes forms. Like, for example, Philip, you saw his wish for a brief moment in his flashback, and she is chained to a well, a wishing well. And Philip is himself chained to pieces of trauma from his past. And I feel like that's another way to really represent pieces of the character in a different form. And also, wishes are different forms entirely, so sometimes they will be able to tell you things about their character that the characters themselves cannot, which will bring more, which it lets me hide more pieces of mystery into the story. I think a lot of it comes from watching this anime called Natsume's Book of Friends, where like there's little spirits everywhere and yokai, and well, I don't want to spoil Natsume's Book of Friends either, but it's a good show. Y'all should watch it.
Cue that shit up.
Mm-hmm. But I really like the idea of having like a little guardian spirit to help you along.
There's a theory that I think Jake the Fennec and I were working on of maybe the whole thing was like the wishes are contradicting each other in a sense. So they're like fighting each other out, and then something happens that sets everything in reverse again, because there's a lot of elements of, oh, this seems familiar, or this seems, I feel like I've been here before, something like that. And then, of course, there's the opening sequence with where it's alluding heavily to the idea of it happening again, and the gears and stuff like that. Because usually time travel is handled in this very like, oh, you're going back to the past to stop an assassination or some shit like that. It's usually something like that. So to integrate time almost as like a side thing or as like a consequence as opposed to the goal is actually a very interesting dynamic. I don't want any spoilers, but the integration of time in this story, I'd like to hear more about that, because it's an interesting implementation of an oft-used and yet often mismanaged story element.
I think it'll be much clearer once I reach the end of Sissel's route, or any of the routes, to be honest, after I reach the halfway point, because something does happen in each of the routes where time becomes much more prominent. And I feel like, yet again, it's another storytelling mechanic that helps me tie together each of the different branches of the story together. And I'm trying really hard to avoid spoilers right now, but
I appreciate your efforts, I really do.
What can I say about the time thing? I think it'll be interesting to see how your character, the main character, Yuka, changes between each of the choices he makes, each of the characters' routes, because unlike a lot of other visual novels, Yuka isn't a blank slate character. He has his own personality. He has a bit of agency, and I think the time mechanic will help me really bring his character to the forefront when it matters towards the end of the overall repeat story. Writing not travel, but like time as a theme in stories is really, really difficult, because I don't want things to get like super complicated. Things should be clear when the end comes. That's pretty much all I can say at this point without like spoiling shit. So good luck on that.
Sure thing. We'll move along from that. Needless to say, there's a lot to look forward to. I'm really just hearing that. I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen? Here recently, there was a big change that really brought to the forefront the idea that this is a game in development. It was the big, I don't want to call it a controversy, but it did stir the pot a little bit. Owen's route being rewritten. What the fuck are you wiping your glasses with? It sounds like a napkin.
It is
like
a napkin.
Like a paper napkin.
Wait,
That's bad for your glasses, dude.
Wait, I got a cloth right here. Give me a second.
There you go.
I'm
there
a professional. Alright, glasses have been wiped cleanly. Alright. Whew, I can see. It didn't quite catch the theme of his character arc the way I wanted it to. I mean, there's a lot of things like ham-fisted in there. Like, you spent more time with Ginny instead of Owen. You learned a lot about Ginny's like personality and her like gun-ho like personality, but you didn't learn much about Owen besides like other people's input on him. And in the new Owen's route, you spend more time with him, you learn more about him, his like feelings about certain things that happened in his life. And I feel like overall it had a lot bigger emotional impact, I think, according to the feedback I got. And also, like, the ham-fisted Samuel sex scene that I put in there, it was... I promised myself I wouldn't, like, force sex scenes into the story when they have no purpose. Let's be honest, the sex scene with Samuel did not serve a narrative purpose. It was fun, but it didn't serve a narrative purpose. I decided to remove that because I have different plans for Samuel's character. And in the, like, old version of Owen's route, you didn't learn much about his family members besides Samuel. I have a lot planned for Graham and Owen's mother. They will be huge players toward later parts of Owen's story. So I wanted the opportunity for the main character to explore the house, learn more about their past, and really get a grasp on the family dynamic of Owen's family, so that it meshes together properly. Also, it gave me an excuse to put in, if you've been listening to the soundtrack of Repeat, there's a theme for Owen. The little da 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 da. That's Owen's theme. But like the really sad piano like part that plays during the flashbacks and like other parts, that is Owen's family theme. And I just wanted an excuse to play that. So yeah,
that's really interesting because that I really did like the new updates. Yeah, it was a little more anime, a little more whatever, but it did go to show that there is more going on to this character, that there are more struggles being faced than just, oh, he's rich and has daddy issues. Now, motherfuckers are trying to kill him. that's a gripping story, goddammit. And so I really like the new the rewrites. What I was finding interesting is that, because I'm also playing a game called Extracurricular Activities. I don't know if you're at all familiar with it. Obviously, you don't have a whole lot of time. I wouldn't expect you to have played it. But recently they changed artists, and they took that opportunity to change some game mechanics as well as the aspect ratio, which I know you're personally you hate 4:3.
Jesus Christ, that square ass ratio pisses me off so much. I wish it started off with like a wider aspect ratio, but you know what? It's too late. Mistakes were made. Only regret remains. Anyway, about extracurricular.
Yeah. When they changed artists, they also changed character arts. And there's been this big thing of, oh, I like the old stuff, I like the new stuff. Well, you also have to bear in mind it's a game in development. And it's when big shit like that changes that you really remember these are games that are in development. And usually games in development are behind the scenes. You don't get to see some of the stuff that gets cut or gets changed. But with these Patreon update games, they really throw that out into the public. So I wanted to know some of the struggles behind that, like public scrutiny, or do you ever feel like you can't change something because it'll piss people off? Or how do you struggle with the idea of author freedom versus public scrutiny?
For me, I've been pretty blessed with a very supportive community. I don't think I've ever done anything super controversial besides like removing the Samuel sex scene. How dare you, Shirokoi? Where's my dick? But besides that, I don't think I've ever done anything like too much to piss off my fans besides like taking forever to update, which writing is hard. But there are so many things that I personally want to change, especially in the beginning of Repeat, where like my high school level of writing is everywhere, and I want to just okay, every time like I hear about a YouTuber like, oh, a new YouTuber picked up your game, I'm like, yes, but also, oh shit, they're gonna play through the beginning of the game and like go through all the cringe filled scenes that I did not. I look back now and I'm like, who the fuck read this? I mean, I have like a lot of things that I want to go back and replace in the beginning 5 days of repeat.
Like what?
Like I have this whole thing sketched out. You saw like I on my Twitter I drew like this thing with Owen like with rainbows behind him. Like that was supposed to go. That was gonna replace the scene where you first meet Owen. Like he falls out of a window and lands on top of Philip, and that happens.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things that's changed about my characters. Like Owen's hella annoying in the beginning of repeat. I know you didn't like him at first, which was the intention, but it got like it should make him unlikable, but not to the point where it seems like he's hella shallow, you know? So I want to change things a bit there. And there was that scene where you choose between listening to Owen texting you a story and Philip like doodling Sissel. And the Philip doodling Sissel thing, like it doesn't fit Philip's story arc anymore, so I want to replace that with something that fits him a bit more. I think there's like a big plot hole where Philip talks about his parents instead of just his mom. He has a single mom, so I gotta go back and fix all that. Like a lot of things that were in development, like I have cemented in the story right now. There are a lot of plot holes in the beginning that I want to just go back and clean up and just make sure that everything's fitting together well. All the loose ends are tied up. All right, let's move forward. But at the same time, I need to push the story forward. I can't like always go back and fix things because the story must go on. You know, I need to keep the momentum going. So it's kind of hard, but I'll have a lot of free time this summer, so hopefully I'll be able to do all of that. Whew.
It's got to be weird working on something you started in high school. Like, you started then, it's still going now. Like, that's got to be weird, because there are certain parts about my high school experience that I would just like to forget ever happened.
I would punch my high school self. Just watch me. I'll beat up a teenager.
Oh, man. There was an interesting point you brought up earlier of the fact that Yuka isn't a blank slate character, that he has his own personality, his own backstory, and his character will become more prevalent as it goes on, because the beginning you have to really explore the world, and then that happens where Yuka becomes more prevalent. There was something I wanted to ask you about, because I've played a fair few visual novels at this point, and I've noticed there really is two different mindsets when it comes to how to design your main character, the character you play as. There's ones where it's a very defined character. They have their own name, they have their own backstory, they have their own personality, it's all them. And then there's the more dating sim ones where it's basically you're supposed to feel like it's you in the game. You can create your own customizable character, you get to add your name to it, stuff like that. So when I realized when I was discussing this at one point during one of the streams is that Repeat has a mix of the two that I'm kind of confused about, because you said that Yuka is a more defined character, yet you let people change his name. Why is that? Why would you make a defined character that you then get to change the name of?
I'll be honest, that decision was made by High School Me. So, thanks, High School Me. That should make things difficult. But I don't regret it, because it does help you relate to him a bit more and, like, get into his head a bit more, I feel like. Because if you start off with a character that you have no control over, like, sure, you can choose options for what he does, but that's not you, so you don't really relate to him in a similar way that I'd like. Yuka's character, I will keep it won't be like super defined. Like, he has shit that happens to him in his past and events that have affected his personality right now, but it is vague enough, I feel, that viewers will be able to still project themselves onto Yuka and relate to him in a way that is in between a first-person character and a fully defined third-person character. You get what I mean? Yuka has his own personality, but the shit that affects him are the wishes, and you, especially Echo and the Remnant, and you will be able to see a lot more about his background through those two characters. So, yeah, keep an eye on those two wishes. They'll give you some insight onto Yuka's psyche.
Why in the fuck have you chosen the W word to be your favorite word?
Oh, welp.
Yes, that accursed excuse of a word. Why?
I just wanted to see you suffer. Just kidding.
Jesus fuck, man.
Just kidding, but I just really like the sound of welp. You know, it's a fun filler word. It's not like other filler words like what, Like instead of that, you just say welp. Well, time to go. Nope, I'm out of here. Yep.
Oh, Jesus fucking hell! Is that and the P word from extracurricular activities that just I can't say them. I can't do it.
It's so fun. I added that scene like in Owen's route just for you to know, where like Ginny's like, "Welp isn't a word," and then your character's just like, "I say what I want." Bitch, come at me. I'll fight you.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Because there is an extra little wrinkle to this interview, for the record.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the viewers what you're doing?
It's like you interjecting that W word to just to mess with me.
Oh.
Every once in a while throughout this interview, I will be also doing something to mess with you. Oh, this is way more fun than I expected it to be. It's a... how would you put exactly what's happening? How would you describe it? I would be interested to hear what your... because no one knows. They're just hearing us reacting to this like it's the best thing ever. What is happening to you right now?
Well, right, you guys can't see this right now, but I get myself. So right now we are webcamming during this interview. I am sitting naked in a chair, and I also have a Bluetooth butt plug vibrator in my ass. And
this is all conditions of the interview. I couldn't pay him, but
and Deckerlink is controlling the vibrations on the other end. It's pretty strong. Not your typical interview, I don't think.
Yeah. This is definitely non-advertiser friendly. I would say that.
But
that's why
it's fun, and that's why I'm here.
Speaking of giving you a quote-unquote helping hand, there have been a number of times where I have alluded to the idea of possibly helping you with like editing or something like that. Obviously, I have no experience with Renpy. I've never made a fucking game before. But you are a one-man band. You're making this game, the art, the writing, all of it by yourself. And every time I have alluded to the idea of helping you or you getting some help, you tend to pull back at that idea. Is there a fear that you have of getting help with the game, or do you just take pride in the idea that you are a one-man band?
I wouldn't say I take pride in the fact that I'm a one-man band. I feel like I have more control over the development of Repeat if I do it alone. Throughout development, I just mess up a lot. I'd write like 10 pages, and now I'm like, I hate it. I'll delete it completely, and then rewrite it from the start. And if anyone like is working with me during that point, they will hate me and hate my guts because I'm that picky with what I write. I wouldn't say I don't want to accept help, because people occasionally send me like grammar fixes and typos and whatnot. So that's been really helpful. But at the same time, I want to be responsible for the outcome of Repeat by my own hand, and I don't want to put like that, I wouldn't say burden, but I don't want to put that responsibility onto someone else when I think I am capable of handling it myself. And I feel like personal one-person projects really come out a different way than team projects. It has a different flavor to it, and I find that I really enjoy that flavor, so I'll keep at it. My butt is vibrating right now. Huh.
It's not the reaction I expected. I will tell you that much. Okay.
I'm trying to play it cool.
There was someone who asked about the background between Owen and Sissel and their interactions back there, and you said you might be taking that out or retconning that out of the story. Have you made a decision on that, whether or not you're going to take that out, and if so, why?
All right, so originally Sissel and Owen was gonna have like some sort of friends with benefits background where they dated tentatively for a bit and then they broke up, and that's why Sissel was pissed at the beginning of the story. I was gonna use that to like further develop Owen's story later down the line, but that storyline's been retconned. I'm gonna go back and remove it because there are Owen's route. There are like 4 or 5 side characters. There is Owen's mom, there's Graham, there's Samuel, there's Owen's dad, and there's the entirety of the Lorelei family that's come to pump like put a cap in his ass. So there is too much for me to put into his route to like use a previous romantic relationship to actually further his development. So I'm going to remove that and just have them be like longtime friends. They're with Ginny and the two of them.
One of the things that I find really cool about being a patron of yours on Patreon, obviously, is the access to the repeat comic. Now, this repeat comic seems, at least right now, to be focusing pretty much exclusively on the retelling of the Sissel route.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've also said that your favorite pairing is the Sissel and Yuka out of the main characters. So is that the only one that's going to be shown in the comic? Is that intentional? Is that the main route? Why did you choose that one? What is going on with the repeat comic in general? Because it's a very interesting addition to the overall canon.
I would say that the repeat comic is a semi-canon comic of like how the different characters of repeat will interact, and it's a way for me to really show parts of characters' thoughts and feelings from a different perspective than just Yuka's, because Yuka's the main character of the repeat game and you're always seeing things from his perspective. I thought it would be interesting to show things from like Sissel's perspective, and the comic doesn't actually follow along the story very tightly. Like, it's gonna be a very different, like, it'll be short, it'll be sweet, it'll have a few character moments, and it's just like a little fun romp on the side to display the characters a bit more. I'm focusing on Yuka and Sissel because that's my favorite pairing, so yeah, Yuka and Sissel. But I'm probably gonna make another like small comic on the side of like Philip and Owen and how they're interacting after the whole like ordeal of day 5, where like they shout at each other. Philip got shot, and then like I want to explore the aftermath of that because you don't really get to see it after in the main game, so that's another little avenue to explore.
So one of the perils and pitfalls of playing a game that is under development is obviously, like we mentioned before, the idea that things can and will often change. Are there any big changes that you already know will be happening other than, of course, rewrite the ones we've already mentioned, rewriting the opening, taking out the background between Owen and Sissel? Are there any other big changes that you would like to warn us about now so that we can already start to get detached from them?
I'd say I have already done all the major like removal of things. Like, one thing that I can think of off the top of my head, Mr. Dolores, the dude who shot Philip in
It's a Dorcas Dolores!
Dorcas Dolores. He was supposed to like have a major role in Sissel's route. Like, there was supposed to be a reason where he hated Sissel, and like he was supposed to be integrated into his background. But later down the line, I was writing Herschel, and I'm like, Herschel fills all these roles way better than Dorcas Dolores and his shitty rat ass. So Dorcas Dolores has been put into rat prison, and Herschel is the side character of Sissel's route now. That's about it.
Where did the name Dorcas Dolores come from? Because that's just like, poor. If he grew up as a kid with that name, no wonder he grew up to be an asshole. Because goddamn.
I think the name Dorcas comes. Okay, I thought of the name during high school where we were reading like Pride and Prejudice, and one of the daughters was named like Dorcas, and I'm like, that is just cruel. And I'm like, I need a hateable character. Let's call him Dorcas. And I'll name him Dolores after Dolores Umbridge, the asshole from Harry Potter. So, yep, that's Dolores' background.
Dorcas Dolores. Good God. Oh, man. So you have gone on record as saying that you don't worry too much about how people do the voices for your characters because you don't like to think of them as having a defined voice so that people can feel more relatable to the characters. What are some of your favorite and least favorite voices? Because these are your characters. You surely have a preference, even if you don't want to, don't want to say which are right or wrong, because it's a novel that you get to be a part of.
So I've watched like 3 Let's Plays of my game. Yours, Jake the Fennec Fox's, and Uki Kuki Helavaluki. I can't never pronounce his name.
Uki Kuki.
I feel like the other 2 don't really. I mean, they do voices for their characters, but they're not like voice actor quality like yours. Like you really like put a lot into the voices. So I feel like your voices are more distinct.
He's a reward for that.
Oh, he's massaging my asshole right now. This is great. But as for the voice I like most, I don't think it's super accurate because I don't have like a defined voice in my head. But for your voice, your heavy smoker voice for Sissel is fucking hilarious, and I love it. It's not the voice in my head, but when I hear it, I'm like, this is gold. And as for my least favorite voice, I am sorry. What the fuck is up with Herschel?
I knew it! That's what I thought you were gonna say.
I mean, like, I know I'm going for an accent, but, like, I'm like, the first time I heard it, I, like, paused. I'm like, go back 5 seconds. What? What is this? I'm like, I wrote him. I'm like, maybe a southerner accent, maybe, like, British or Australian. But no, it's this weird, I don't even know what to call it.
Oh, Jesus.
What happened?
Oh, fuck me. That yes. I God, because when I was first starting to do visual novels, I was caring way less about, like, making the voices seem right. And there was, like, Herschel saying things with, like apostrophes, like, as opposed to here. What you doing there? Stuff like that. And so it really seemed like there was definitely an accent. And I saw a bandana and what seemed like longer hair, and I was just like, you know what, Jamaica. and then I fucking suck at Jamaican accents, so I just sort of bastardized it and went with it. And
well, it's stuck in my head now, so thank you for that. Keep up the good work.
Have any of these voices, like, influenced how, like, certain things are written? Like, I've noticed in the later updates there have been more of those apostrophe few letters for Herschel's dialogue than ever before. Like, has my voice gotten into your head, or was that always the intention?
It's always been like he's supposed to have like a thick accent from somewhere. I'm not even sure why, because he's from the area. I have like a headcanon where he tried to make an accent up in like his high school days to get it with the ladies, but he just sounded stupid. So that's why he's still single. So maybe that's he sounds like that. Who knows?
You're throwing shade at voice actors.
You did a good job, though.
I appreciate that. So having made the repeat comic and having decided that at least the first one is focusing on a alternate perspective, semi-canon retelling of the Sissel route, a lot of people have asked if Repeat were made into a TV show or movie, which route would you want the one to be focused on, or would you like blend them together? How would you handle it? Because obviously you couldn't do retellings of the same story from different perspectives. It would have to be the one. So which one would be the primary focus? Because you'd have to adjust it, but what one would you go for as being your preferred plot?
If it were a TV show, a lot would have to be cut. But the general setup of the time mechanic in repeat, it could be possible to do all 3 routes. But it'd be too long for a TV show, so I'd say follow Philip's route, because his is the most family friendly for a TV show. And also, well, not family friendly. Shit,
I was about to say, I was like, yes, very graphic depictions of kidnapping and sexual assault. That's family entertainment.
Show your kids, but yeah. Philip's route will probably it explains a lot more, because his wish is a lot more talkative and aggressive than the other wishes. So I think you'll learn a lot more about the whole Wish's background through him. And from Philip's route, they'll transition to the final Ginny route, which will explain everything that you have questions about. So yeah, Philip's route, and then Ginny's route. Also, I also picked Philip's route because Owen plays a pretty big role in that route. You see in Owen's route, he is a strong, prominent figure, but he's also semi-overshadowed by the 5 other side characters in his route. So I figured the Philip-Owen dynamic would be pretty interesting to see in Philip's route. Yep.
What's something about repeat you wish more people liked more or less? Like things that you feel are over or under appreciated by the audience?
Maybe just people like getting curious and looking up the language of flowers things, because I like people like catching on to the pieces of symbolism that I put in there. Like one person actually telegrammed me, and he's like, yo, I noticed the Black Lady of Bradley Lake is actually a European folklore story about a lady who got like attacked in the woods and lost her baby, and like it's like a piece of European folklore, and there's like a little sing a song. If you sing this 3 times in the woods, she'll come and get you.
Oh yeah, one of those.
Yeah, and it goes like, Black Lady, I've taken your baby, and if you sing that 3 times, she'll come and get ya. I didn't include that in the story, but I'm glad someone caught on to the origins of this. And like Philip's wish, Mimir, it comes from a Norse mythology of Odin sacrificing an eye to a wishing well to gain knowledge. So then that Mimir was, look it up yourself, you get it. And and Hallie. What the fuck can I say about Hallie?
Don't comment.
Halley's Comet. Well, let's just say look up the historical significance of Halley's Comet, and you'll see pieces of her character make more sense. And that's about it. Yep. Look up symbolism. It'll make me happy. Things that I wish people paid less attention to. Philip's porn thing. There we go.
That's actually something that I find rather particular about repeat, is that there is a focus on the story, but there is also, it doesn't shy away from anything sex related, be it the consensual fun aspect or the more traumatic aspects of a sexual assault. Is it difficult? Do you find it to be difficult to incorporate sexual scenes into such a plot-heavy story, or do you find that it enhances it? It adds. What do you find to be? What are your thoughts on incorporating sexual moments and elements into a plot-heavy story?
It's pretty easy because like they're at a school, they've had plenty of places to rest, they have plenty of time to just hang out. So there's plenty of opportunities to ham-fist a sex scene in there. But I feel like if I put too many, it'll just cheapen the value of like the characters. So I sprinkled a few in the beginning to entice people, and there are a few intermittent ones like the Owen blowjob scene in the gym, and
Mm-hmm.
there's sex scenes sprinkled here and there, but to gratify those who are playing the game for that. But I want to keep it focused mostly on the story, and for sex scenes to happen when it makes sense, when the relationship progresses to that point. Except for Owen, because he's just a fuckboy. But
Well, in the fourth episode, Sissel fucking takes a hand job. So, yeah, just judging by my YouTube views, those are definitely some of the most popular moments. But you're really trying to push forward the story aspect. So that's good that you're getting a chance to put that out there, because sometimes they get the misguided expectation that there's a focus on that, or that is the important part in all of this whole genre, but that there's actually more to it if you give them a fucking chance. So I'm glad that you're focusing on that, and that's something else that you touched on in Curious Cat, and I think this is going to be the last one before we move on a little to finding out more about you as a person. Is you touched on the trying to find a balance between melodrama and actual story progression. How do you find a balance there when you profess yourself to be someone who really enjoys a scarred character and just putting your characters through hell? How do you find the balance between melodrama and advancing the plot without people just crying all the time?
it's hard because I feel like I use melodrama as a crutch to express characters' emotions. Like Zazzle's thing got crushed, so he mopes in his cabin for a night. But I feel like I balance it out with like other characters pitching in and like them actually doing something instead of just sitting there and like talking about their feelings. I mean, they do talk about their feelings, but they're doing fun stuff and other like realistic friendship stuff while they're talking about their feelings. You know?
Yeah, one of my favorite fucking scenes is that camping.
Glad to know it worked because that fucking background makes me want to die. I'm getting better at dry backgrounds, but Jesus Christ. I think in the upcoming the upcoming Sissel update that's coming in a few days, hopefully, God, pray for me. But I'm putting more art into the updates and during scenes so that you feel like the character is actually doing something instead of just sitting there, which I find happens a lot in visual novels, and it feels. I want my characters to express their feelings through action instead of just melodrama. It has its place, but I'm trying to cut that out as much as possible.
So, in the grand tradition of interviews and talking to someone for a long period of time, I want to bring it back a little bit. I want to find out a little more about the person behind the visual novel. Let's take you back to your most favorite part of your life, your childhood.
Oh boy.
The sarcasm is abound with that one. What some people might not know about you, especially since there isn't a hint of an accent in your voice, not a goddamn bit,
Really?
is that you're actually, from what I was able to find, a Chinese immigrant.
Yep.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that play a role in how you were raised, coming to America? First of all, when did you immigrate? How old were you?
Let's see. I was 4.5-ish when I moved to America. I grew up. I went through elementary school not knowing a shred of English. My teachers, God bless them, they're kind souls, but they weren't very patient with my Chinese ass. And the kids were, elementary school kids.
Yeah.
A lot of them are nice. A lot of the kids in the after-school program are dicks. And my parents, they're Asian parents moving into America. They want their kid to succeed, so they really hammered home, like, you gotta study hard. You gotta become a lawyer, a doctor, something in the STEM field. And that really pushed me to, like, really push myself into, like, outside of my comfort zone, and really, I was at the top of my class for most of it, and except for English. I graduated high school as a valedictorian somehow. I don't know how.
Damn.
But the thing is, I was miserable the whole time. Like, that's a lot of stress. I feel like I've always been a person who puts his work over his health too much, and that came to a climax during my junior year in high school, where SATs, ACTs, exams, apply to college, all that good stuff. My childhood kind of shaped me into, you gotta do this, you gotta make this right, you gotta make your parents proud. Your parents are working 12 hours a day every day of the week to give you a good future. You gotta make this count. So throughout the entirety of junior year, I slept like 3 hours a day. I was in theater club. I was a manager in theater club. I was a manager in honors club. I was like a leader in student council, all that good jazz. I was dragged to events here and there, everywhere.
Good Lord, man.
And I took all the most difficult classes in the same year. So that was the first time my anxiety took like physical form.
Oh, good God, man.
So what happened was, my palms started itching. Like, I didn't feel like I had anxiety. I was functioning fine, but my palms and feet started itching, like, throughout the day, during the night. So I was too busy itching to actually sleep. So a week went by, 0 sleep.
Oh, God.
And along with that, I got, like, a constant fever that won't go away for, like, 2 months. They say it's mono, but they never found out what it is. My lymph nodes are swelling like heck. I went to school with like an ice pack attached to my neck because I'm like, yo, exams are coming up. I can't not go to school. I have so many projects to do. So yeah.
Oh, fuck, man.
So let's see what happened. My doctor gave me like sleep medicine. That didn't work. I got allergic reaction. Hives everywhere. Woo!
Oh, God damn.
So after that, she tried another medicine. I got knocked out for 3 days. My friends like actually held an intervention, and she's go the fuck home. You are collapsing. So I like stayed home for like a week, and that's when I learned the importance of self-care, and I've learned to take care of myself a little more. I've been a little more easygoing ever since then. Like, my health comes first. Let's not push myself too hard. I don't want to say I'm a workaholic because I do slack off sometimes, but I want to say I really want to succeed, so I'm putting the effort in, and hopefully it pays off. Also, you'll see a lot of this. A lot of Philip's route is inspired by this, so you'll probably see something similar. Like, Philip's a Chinese immigrant too. He's really influenced by his mom, that kind of thing. So, yeah, you'll see more of a repeat story.
Dang, man, that's rough. That's fucking rough, dude. Like, and you like blew through all the questions before I even got to them because I was gonna ask you about.
I saved time. Look at that.
Because there is the work ethic really shines through in your work. Like you really seem to just destroy yourself if you miss an update. Like when you had to postpone for months so that you could focus on school. You and I were talking at that point, and you did not take that very lightly.
Not a day goes by where I don't feel blessed to be supported by so many people, like from fans, from my Patreon patrons, and my Patreon patrons are paying me money to make a visual novel, and when I miss that, it's not only is it like shitty business practice all in all, but I just don't feel like letting people down, I want to make a good story. Don't want to another month went by and he didn't update. So that's shitty. But I'm putting the work in. Hopefully it shows, and I'll just.
It does. It does, man. I that's something that anytime people are like, "Where's the update?" I'm like, listen, this dude's a full-time student. He's doing the work to try to get his fucking degree, his education. He's doing all the art, all the writing, all the coding, everything by himself. And like that, fuck, dude, I work part-time, don't go to school, and play video games. And I find that hard to schedule, so I don't even know how the fuck. So that, you will always have a defendant in me in terms of people asking, where's the update? God damn it, son of a bitch.
Thank you.
There was something I wanted to ask you about going back to your elementary school is, what in the fuck does flat face mean? Because your face is not flat. What does that mean?
Okay, so for background, someone asked me about my favorite childhood moment. I'm like, oh, in my elementary school, during an after-school program, this bunch of kids kept calling me a flat-faced, slanty-eyed...
Oh, fuck.
Blah, 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 blah. I didn't know English back then, so I didn't really...
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, my face is sort of flat. Who knows? They've got, like, pointy noses, like the Grinch, so...
Oh.
I
didn't realize that was a race thing. I'll probably cut that out then.
No, it's fine, kids. I asked my mother, hey, Mom, I keep squishing my lunch. Can I have a hard case lunchbox? And she's like, sure. So I got a hard case, like, I don't know, was it SpongeBob? I don't even watch SpongeBob. Anyway, I filled it with, like, as much heavy shit as I could, and I beat the shit out of them. I was an aggressive kid.
Hey, when you're dealing with fucking terrible people, sometimes they need to be put in their motherfucking place.
I mean, I had like really good friends, and they all like crowded around me because I was like the small bean of the friend group.
Well, I'm glad that at least one bully got their fucking due. You did get suspended, and then kids watching, he did face consequences, what I think is kind of bullshit. If you're fucking sticking up for yourself in the face of someone and being a dick, I don't think you should get punished for that, but, you know, you can't teach kids that violence is the answer. Violence is the question, and the answer is yes!
You gotta do what you gotta do. I wouldn't recommend it, though, nowadays. You can get sued. My asshole is being gently massaged again.
Yeah, well, I figure after everything, I need to give you a little something to make yourself feel better.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And this is something I learned, again, via Curious Cat. I'm going to just stop mentioning that. I'm just going to pretend I know this stuff. I have done 2 Let's Plays, one of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, both of which are gone from YouTube, unfortunately.
Aww.
But your Kingdom Hearts love is something that has not been really displayed. When did that start, and what got you interested in Kingdom Hearts? Because I fucking love that whole series.
So I didn't actually play Kingdom Hearts when it came out. I saw my friends get into it during like my high school days. And my first game was Kingdom Hearts, the DS game, 358 Days Over 2. And
Jesus.
I had no idea what's going on, but these characters are precious beans, and I love them. Alright, so I started playing every single game on ROMs and like PS2 and all that good jazz. I'm like, this is a fucking good game. When's the next one coming out? Oh.
This year, apparently.
This year. Thanks, Nomura.
Apparently, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to come out this year, and I'm fucking excited. I'm so excited. Another game that kept popping up on Curious Cat was Warframe.
Warframe is my child. I fucking love Warframe. Y'all should try it. It's free to play. It's grindy, but it's like the good grind. I started playing it just after it came out, like out of beta. Have you played Warframe before?
I have not.
It's like ninjas in space fighting space capitalists and space Nazis and space zombies and like punching space purple people.
Sounds fucking awesome. What the hell? That's
Warframe in a nutshell. And I love it because it's sci-fi. I usually don't like sci-fi, but they're ninjas. They have like swords and like katanas, and they take like old-fashioned weaponry and like make it into a sci-fi, put it in the sci-fi universe, and there's bows and arrows in space. It doesn't work in real life, but you know what? Fuck it. They're ninjas in space. It's gorgeous.
That's awesome, dude.
So my background with Warframe, I played it when it first came out. It's been 5 years. the devs are precious people. They are constantly communicating with people. Warframe is like the most updated game I've ever played, and they're just always adding new stuff. And I don't know, the game devs always hold like dev streams and like show people what they're doing and all that good jazz, and they're just constantly improving and adding more to the game. And actually, Warframe is what really inspired me to like open up a Patreon and do my current setup with Repeat, where it's a free game. If you'll like it, want to support me, go ahead. Just like the free-to-play model of Warframe, because if people like what you do and are willing to support it, they'll come, and I don't feel like I have to charge people money for it. So yeah, all the visual novels and work that I do for the future will probably be free and will remain free. Mm-hmm.
Terrific!
All thanks to Warframe's influence. Y'all should play it.
Oh, damn. Free promo for Warframe on the debut episode of All the Above, endorsed by Shirokoi.
Whoa, add me on Warframe. I'm Shirokoi on PC. I can show you the ropes if I ever get free time that I don't know.
Seeing this man deflate.
Yeah,
Bring it back.
Massage my asshole. I need to get up after this. Mm-hmm.
Well, bringing it more towards today and the more lewd section of the interview, and you once described your sex life as, quote, relentless sobbing.
Yeah, it sounds accurate.
Jesus. You also said that the kinkiest place you've ever fucked was in a bathroom stall in the basement of your dorm. Now, the first time I ever got a blowjob was in a shower at my mom's apartment clubhouse.
Ooh.
It was from a guy I met that day in the pool, so goddamn. I'm curious, has that location been updated? Is there a now new crown for the kinkiest place you've ever fucked?
I mean, the bathroom stall is pretty much the most public, kinkiest place ever done to do. I mean, I've been fucked in the gym showers at my college while other dudes were around, so I guess that's pretty kinky.
Yeah.
I just like public places. They're really fun.
Yeah, you are an exhibitionist, so that kind of goes into it.
Follow my Pornhub. Watch my videos. Give me that ad revenue.
Do you actually get ad revenue from Pornhub?
I can only withdraw if I make $100, and that hasn't happened yet in my 2-3 years of this. So yeah,
that's how Twitch and YouTube do it. So I guess that's the industry standard. Fuck.
I just uploaded a new video of me stripping naked in a Sears bathroom. So yeah. Go follow me.
There's multiple camera angles and shit too. It's very professionally done. Very nice.
Really? There's me scrambling in and out of the stall because I heard someone coming. I'm like, oh shit.
That's something else you mentioned. You said you had good genes when it came to hair. I like the look of a trimmed bush, but it's I don't know if it's a phobia or whatever, but it's when I get a sharp thing near my junk, it turns into terrified. I can't fucking do it. What are your tips for trimming the bush?
Practice, probably. I've never cut myself down there, but I've taken Alright, just to clear everything up, if you hear me going, oh, that's Decker using his phone to activate the vibrator in my asshole, so apologies, I am a bit distracted.
I'll stop, sorry.
No, keep going, I ain't complaining.
I can tell you're enjoying it from what I'm seeing.
I am also jerking off in front of the webcam right now. Anyway, what was the question?
This is a very interesting set. Trimming the bush. You said practice.
I use women's razors because they have a flatter head and it gives you a little more protection. Don't use men's razors on your bush. Nothing good will come of it.
Oh, Jesus.
I think just carefully, in the shower with warm water, shower with warm water, get your pores loosened up, and just gently have at it. And you start feeling more comfortable, really gently. Don't press. Just like carefully scrape along the sides. And yeah, I'm actually really hairy down there, but I do shave like here once a month. And for my legs, I've tried all sorts of things. I've tried waxing, which doesn't hurt that much, to be honest. But I can't reach like the places in the back of my head, at the back of my legs. So like I can't rip it properly. So that gets annoying. So I've started using Nair, the like hair removal cream, and that's going pretty well so far for my legs and butt. I don't really have much hair on my butt, but when there is, yeah, they'll do it.
You've also said that you've been training to try to become a power bottom. What? Okay, I keep hearing different people try to describe it, and I have not heard one definition that made any lick of sense to me. What in the holy hell is a power bottom?
Power bottom. There's a lot of definitions, but it's someone who can take a dick up their butt real easily, who can ride you with a lot of force, and they can take an assertive role while bottoming in a sexual situation. And yeah, that's what I want to do. I've been playing with my Bad Dragon dildos. They're real big. I still haven't knotted any of them, but I will keep trying. For my dream.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You once said that streaking is old news. And obviously, if people follow your AD Twitter, it's just what is Shirokoi AD?
Shirokoi AD. Yep, that's my AD Twitter.
Mm-hmm. There's pictures of you in like the front room of your dorm. There's you driving around fully naked. There's all kinds of places and times where you have displayed yourself in very risky situations. Where do you think that started for you, and what do you find to be the most interesting, or I guess what gets you hot about it? Is it the idea that someone could catch you, or is it just the idea of breaking the rules? Like, what do you find to be the bit that gets you off about it?
I feel like breaking the rules is definitely like a big part of it, because I grew up in a pretty repressed household. My parents are pretty homophobic. They're pretty much like no sex. I've never had like a sex talk from them, so I didn't actually know what sex was until like pretty late into my teen years. So yeah, I feel like expressing myself sexually is really freeing in a way, and definitely like the idea of getting caught and like maybe someone joining me, that's like a pretty nice feeling. Like the idea of getting caught really thrills me. Like that Sears bathroom video that I took, like my heart was racing throughout the whole thing. It's just like that adrenaline rush is such a turn on.
I did notice one question on your Curious Cat that may take the edge off for you. Mm-hmm. I saw someone had asked a fuck, marry, kill of Jake the Fennec, Yuki Cookie, and myself. Mm-hmm. And you responded by, I let you speak for yourself. How did you respond to that?
I pretty much said, oh, great, another one of those internet games where at least one people will come out pissed. Like, you know those things on social media where like, oh, retweet this in 10 seconds or your family member dies or something, and that kind of thing. I categorize this and that in the same category, like another annoying thing that makes people uncomfortable and like insecure, and like I'm not paying attention to this shit. Get it out of here. Yep.
I was just worried, like, do you get that kind of stuff a lot? Like, do people bring up the Let's Players to you or try to compare them? Because I sure as shit, that would make me uncomfortable, as if people were watching me and then coming to you and trying to, like, choose a favorite or something shit. Like, I'm like, I don't...
I mean, it doesn't come out often. Like, I think twice someone sent asked saying, who's your favorite Let's Player? YouTube Let's Player of your game. And I'm like... the different strokes for different folks. Try them all out, see who you like, because you're all really different Let's Players, and different people like different things. So I can't really recommend it for anyone. I like all of you pretty much equally. I don't talk much because I'm not a talking kind of person. I don't hold conversations very well. But I love all of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Have all the love. Yep.
Yay! All the love. You also, in a different one, alluded to a possible internet crush. Now, you did not say who it is, but I would like to break the walls down. Who is it that is your internet crush, and why is it CGP Grey?
CGP Grey is a educational YouTuber. He is married. He is like living in Britain. I don't think of him as a crush, really. It's just like a favorite. I listen to his videos a lot when I'm drawing. So yeah, he's got that sarcastic quip that I really like. My internet. Do I have an internet crush? Usually, my crushes turn out to me just being like, oh, this person's really nice to me and respects me, and I respect them back, and oh, it's just me being just normal human interaction. What is this? I'm not used to this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't crush much anymore.
Aw, that's nice. That's good, though. I've been having trouble with that, too, like, just trying to realize what is and isn't how to human. Because yeah. You also, to bring into the level of controversy, you found a way to have a different opinion about an oft-debated subject that I had not heard before.
Ooh, what's this?
Pineapple on pizza. You said your opinion is that it doesn't work because the pizza ruins the pineapple.
Okay, let me tell you, I love fruit. It's delicious. Fruit should just be fruit. Don't put it on cake. Don't put it on meat. Don't cook it. It is fruit. It is fresh. It's juicy. I love pineapple. I'd eat it out of a bowl. But why would you put it on a greasy piece of pizza? It's fruit. Just eat it. It's okay. Like, pineapple pizza already has a bunch of things. It has like mushrooms. It has pepperoni. Why put pineapple on it when you can have it separately on the side in a bowl?
I mean, tomato sauce, that's made from a fruit, and that's a pizza standard. So I mean,
would you put tomatoes in a fruit salad? I wouldn't. It's like a fruitish vegetable for me. Just it tastes meaty, you know. Pineapple is sweet, and it is. Yeah, just eat your fruit on the side. Don't put it on shit where it doesn't belong. Like, if you give me like a fruity cake, I'm not gonna eat it. I'm gonna pick all the fruit out because the cream makes the fruit taste like shit. Fruit should be segregated and put on the side. Shit. I am sorry. I stand for this.
God damn, we got to bring in segregation. So you don't like pineapple upside down cake or fruit cakes. You don't like any of that.
Why?
Full fruit liberation is the message here.
Fruit is beautiful on its own, and it should stay that way.
Damn. Speaking of controversial opinions, someone asked you what your Halloween costume was going to be that year, and you said you were probably just going to wear a lobster hat to work. Why? And there's also been some other moments where you were talking about Halloween costumes for the main characters, and you really didn't say. You just sort of gave basic answers. Why the lack of enthusiasm about Halloween? Like, it's my favorite holiday. Also, did you do the lobster hat thing?
Yeah,
I
did wear a lobster hat to work. Nobody else dressed up, so I'm glad I had a very conveniently removable hat.
But why the lack of enthusiasm about Halloween? It's the best holiday.
I don't eat candy. I like collecting it.
Sugar is bad for you.
Yeah, that's come from me, Philip. Yes, good job. Quick story. My mother, trained me like a Pavlovian pigeon when I was young. There is no sugar in our household, so I never, really had many junk food options. But when there is, she gives me, a ton of it, so I get sick from eating too much. So I've just associated, sugar with uncomfortable sugariness, you know? I can have a little bit, a few bites, but afterwards I'm that's enough for me. So, yeah, when it's Halloween, I have to deal with kids. Get off my lawn. Also, I don't care about the damn candy. I do like the dressing up part, though. It's fun, but I don't have a lot of time to dress up. So, Yeah, that'll do it. But I do like hearing other people's Halloween stories. Like my coworker's like little brother got 2 costumes, and like he got twice the amount of candy because he went trick or treating twice in different costumes.
Fucking gaming the system there. That's fucking cool.
I think Halloween's a good holiday. It's just like, I don't get much out of it. Besides, and there is a distinct lack of kinky costumes for men. Why do all the girls get like short skirts and like thigh highs, and I get like this Superman costume? I mean, it's not even tight. It ain't even tight. Why am I wearing this if I'm not gonna like? Anyway,
You just a Borat.
yeah.
Just have your dick out. Just there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Shifting gears from that, you have been talking on Twitter a lot about how you're trying to get back to the gym and how it's been kind of hard. You're feeling sore. I haven't been there in a while because you were sick for a while. How is the gym progress going for you? What is your workout routine? What's your gym plan and progress?
Let me tell you about my gym plan. I don't have one. I actually have no idea how half the machines work. But hey, I look at the pictures. I follow the instructions. One day, my legs are sore AF. So the next day, I use the leg machines, and then my legs are sore AF, and then my abs. And yeah, I just do that, and I keep pushing myself to do more weights. And I do jog on occasion, but I'm trying to gain weight, so I shouldn't do that too much. But yeah, that's pretty much my ideal. Like, I do a lot of ab workouts because I want those abs.
One of the biggest themes on your social media presence is your work stress. As we've alluded to already, you do have a lot on your plate. How are you managing all of this specifically? Like, how are you balancing game dev, school, personal life? How is all that helping you, and how do you deal with the stress of it?
I just want to say that I use social media as a way to complain about my work stress, so I sound more stressed than I actually am. But yeah, I use Google Calendar a lot. I block out all the days of, like, all the hours of my day. Like, I block out an hour to wake up at whatever time, and then block out like 1 hour to do this, 1 hour to do schoolwork, 1 hour to just do writing, 1 hour to just draw. And sometimes I miss the schedule a lot. I skip things, but yeah, I can fit like all my work into one day, and it feels good to complete every task. I always miss something, but I get a lot done, so it's a good system.
Cool. It's good. It's organization. It really helps compartmentalize everything, put everything in its place. And then the last thing before we get into the fan questions, because I know some people are probably waiting to see if their name gets said, is how, and it has to do with fans actually, is this is something I struggle with personally, so I want to hear your take on it. How do you deal with clingy fans who want to talk all the time?
That's actually happened a few times, like earlier. In my freshman year of college, I decided, hey, I should start talking more. So I started chatting with these 2 fans, and then they got really clingy. Like they message me every hour of the day, even during my classes when I'm like, hey, I have to work on other stuff now. Please give me some space. I'm introverted. I need my space to not talk. And they just kept coming. And like one day, one of them messaged me and was like, "Oh, it's my birthday today, and my favorite person didn't even care." And I was like, "I'm not dealing with this guilt tripping bullshit. I hate guilt trips. They're not my thing. They just kind of like just trigger this rage inside me." So I just kind of instantly muted all of them. And I'm like, "All right, back to work." I love talking to my fans, but also I have a lot of work to do. I can't always talk. So I love you. But please understand I am a working person with limited time. And if I don't talk to you, it's nothing against you personally. I just value my time a little more because it's more important for my future and the future of the game. And my career. And my school. And my parents' expectations. And
your peace of mind.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is. I love you
Yeah.
guys. I love all of you. I just can't interact with all of you all the time. And I'm an introverted asshole, so I just kind of shut myself in my room and work all day. So,
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm a person, despite my outgoing personality, as presented. It's not an act. I'm not putting on an act, but it's in short bursts. It's an edited edited forms because I have a lot of anxiety problems, and so when someone is like every day messaging me or like they know exactly what time I get off work, so they know to message me then, and I'm like, okay, I appreciate the concern, the accommodation, but okay, that I didn't even tell you when I get off work. How the fuck did you figure that shit out?
damn.
Yeah, it's kind of freaky, but at the same time, there's like a passion behind it. So I feel bad telling people to I don't want to say fuck off, but fuck off.
I don't think I've ever like been rude to a fan before. Like, I always said like, "Hey, I don't have time," and if they don't like respect that, I just stop responding, and they stop responding. And
Yeah, and I haven't had to tell people to fuck off before, but it gets to that point sometimes. All right, so now we're going to do a little special edition of Talking Back with Shirokoi. Shirokoi is going to be the one talking back this time, and we won't do the character voices and all that other shit because that would take way too much goddamn time. To acknowledge right off the bat, I curated a lot of the questions that were just asking for spoilers, redundant questions that we already covered, or were just what already asked. So if you asked a question that someone else asked, I'm not going to include all of the people that asked the same fucking question. Stupid shit, I also took out stupid shit, a lot of stuff like that. So, yeah, if you don't get your question in there, either I didn't see it, which is unlikely. I went through the questions a lot, even right before this. I was looking at them, but also, if your question sucked, I didn't fucking include it. But just because I didn't include your question, it doesn't mean it automatically sucks. Just bear that in mind. So let's get on with the disclaimers. The first question comes from Ivan Collins, who asks, who's the composer of the soundtrack and where can we find them online?
Alright, so all the soundtracks in the game come from some are from royalty-free music websites, others are from animes and whatnot.
Sorry.
And the character themes that, Philip has a theme, Jenny has a theme, the main theme of the game, those all come from old-ass Hong Kong dramas from years and years ago that I really liked and I found really emotional, and I just put the instrumental versions into the game.
Wow.
I will probably make a playlist on my YouTube at some point where I do a speed paint of the character while their song is playing, and put the credits to each song into the video at some point when I have time. I love the soundtrack too, but some of them are kind of spoilers, so I don't want people listening to them too much and having it printed in their brain. So yeah.
That's really cool. I did not know that.
There are vocal versions.
I did not.
There are vocal versions to each of the character themes, and I really want to play them during the credits of each of the Roots endings. So yeah, I'm saving that up for later. Yep.
Nice. It's like a dumb thing to say to someone you're interviewing. Oh, I did not know. Fucking ask it, you dumb shit. God damn it. Next up, we have a question from the guy over there, 603, who asks, what's your biggest kink and lewdest sexual experience?
My biggest... nice timing with the vibrator.
We're saving the prevalence of the vibrator for later on, but...
So my biggest kink, you already know, is exhibitionism. I like taking photos of myself in public places. I find it a really big turn on. The adrenaline rush is really nice. I do have other kinks, I have this bondage set that I just feel really nice wearing. And I have a lot of skimpy underwear that I like wearing. I do have like a pair of running shorts that are like really low. Like I ran with them once, and all the old people in my neighborhood kept staring at me. So I'm like, oh boy, time to put this back. But yeah, I like those too. As for my lewdest sexual experience, they're all about like they plateau into the same lewdness level. Like the first one, I got fucked by an RA in a bathroom stall in my dorm once, in my dorm building. Mm-hmm. Another one, I got fucked in the gym showers of my college while other people were in the stalls around us. Another time, I give blowjobs in bathroom stalls a lot.
It's a convenient small space.
Yeah. I also blew someone on a stairwell. In the library. What else have I done? Not much. That's about it.
Cool. Well, I mean,
I'm open to more. Maybe I'll update this later, but for now, that is the lewdest. I mean, another lewdest is having an interview on a webcam naked while the other interviewer is controlling a vibrator in my ass. This is pretty lewd.
I was gonna say, this is something, isn't it?
I'm liking it so far.
I'm a fan. I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it too. Maybe I'll put the video version up sometime and you guys can see me in my glory. But anyway, yep. Next question.
Next question. NGIS, I don't know how to pronounce that, says, how many third graders do you think you could fight at once, and what would your strategy be?
Let me fucking tell you, I was a counselor at YMCA for summer. Those fuckers know that you can't fight back, so like they punch you in the shins and like tackle you with no fucking consequences. Let me tell you, those kids... Okay, my strategy for... I can't go into such violent detail. I mean, they're kids. Kick them. They're perfect kicking like height. Just beat their shit. Hit them on the head. Bring them to Home Depot. Shove them in like the saw grinding thing. Just do it. They're kids.
How many do you think you could take at once in terms of fighting?
As many as it takes.
Let's move on before this becomes evident sometime. McCry1CV4, who is the channel musician, made the outro song. They asked, how much 18 plus content is there going to be in the game? It seems like an afterthought the more in-depth the story goes.
There is 18 content, and I feel like it's pretty well paced. It makes sense story-wise. Every character is going to get at least one sex scene. Owen and Sissel will definitely get more than Philip, obviously. Owen's is probably going to get the most. And...
Sorry.
No, keep going. Let's see. Ginny's not going to get any because, she's 17 canonically, so no sex scenes with her. Yeah. I'd say there's going to be a fair amount. I wouldn't say it's like an afterthought because I want every character to be able to express themselves sexually. But I want it to make sense story-wise, which is why the Samuel sex scene got taken out because that made no fucking sense.
Son of Psyops asks, what cons are you attending this year?
I've attended Anthro New England earlier this year in February, and I'm probably going to attend... what do you call it? Anthrocon in Pennsylvania later. I don't know states good. But yeah, I'm going to Anthrocon later in a few months. So yeah, if you see me, I'm there. And if we hit it off and you want a chance at my asshole, I am happy to open my legs for you.
This is not a hookup, man.
Let me be a slut.
I was going to say I'm trying to see if I could ever get a ticket to Anthrocon, but now it sounds like I'm just trying to go to fuck you.
I'm open to that.
Well, we're gonna table that discussion for now. The next question comes from Mao Cottontail, who asks, and I have to do it the way they typed it, but I'm going to try to do it in a way that doesn't peak the microphone.
Right.
Why the hell don't they have tails?
Because in the sprites, they are facing you 90% of the time, and the tail is hidden behind their body. Also, I'm lazy, and drawing tails is a pain. And it covers up too much of the screen, so I'm like, just hide it. But in some of the Zazzle sprites where he's like turned halfway, his tail is showing. I'm probably gonna redraw a few of the Owen sprites, the ones where he's like halfway turned. His tail will probably poke out. In like some side art, you can see Owen has a tail, everyone has a tail. So yeah, tails, they're there. You just can't see them. Also, I'm a lazy artist.
Lazy, you're just making a game by yourself.
Gotta take shortcuts.
Damn you, Emron asks, has your Patreon doing better now thanks to Deckerlink's Let's Play of your game?
I think so. Like, a lot of people I've noticed on my Patreon are like frequent commenters on your videos, so I'm sure like a lot of them are watching your videos and probably got like into the game by you, so thank you so much. And I just love seeing like my game being talked about by so many people, and it really like fuels my motivation. So I love all ya. Deckerlink is awesome. Support him too, and keep on trucking along.
I have a Patreon too.
I will support you there, like later tonight probably. I can.
Don't do that, because then it makes my support of yours null and void.
It's gonna be mutual support, okay?
Just be a financial circle jerk, but no one actually ever gets to get off. Like, it's fucking...
We're stuck in poverty forever. Look at the student loans. Oh god.
Right. Don't even.
Moving on.
Yes. We're yeah.
My boner has died.
Let's fix that. Yeah. The Reptilian Doctor asks, what are your favorite video games that have anthropomorphic animals in them?
My question is, what video games have anthropomorphic animals in them? Does Okami count? Okami's just a wolf, though.
It's not really anthropomorphic, but I mean, human trait, and I guess.
Let's see. Night in the Woods is pretty good. Still haven't finished it yet because I don't have fucking time. There is a dog skin for a Warframe. I guess that counts, right? Shoot that in. Let's see, what else? I haven't played a lot of furry games, actually. Does Overwatch count? I mean, the gorilla's in there.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I've played too many games with anthropomorphic. I like Star Fox, but I've never played a Star Fox game. I have a crush on Donald, though. Wolf.
Oh, nice.
Wolf Daddy.
Next question comes from Dino Kid Productions, who asks, why the fever loves you?
I don't take care of myself very well. Like, I'm constantly sleep deprived. Sometimes I forget to eat. I think my second year of college, I like went one meal a day because my financial situation went down the toilet, and I didn't want to ask my parents to support me because that feels like shit. So yeah, I have a history of not taking care of myself, but I'm trying my best now. I'm going to the gym. I can exercise. I'm not.
Have a banana you could eat.
I just ate a banana at home. Also, I like the meteor kind of banana, if you get what I'm saying.
I was going to say, for the audio-only people, they won't realize that I actually have a banana. I'm not talking about my dick!
Mm-hmm.
Christ.
I'll take that, too. Gotta get that.
Jesus. Next up is a question from Nick the Demon Kid, who asks, is there anyone in your life who is like Owen?
Like a rich person? Nope. I wish I had a sugar daddy. But that hasn't happened yet. God damn.
There's a little more to Owen than just being rich.
I mean, I've had friends who are like sexually active, and I've hooked up with them like once or twice. But like, they're not sex focused. I mean, actually, all of my friends who are sex focused are dating now. So, whoa, forever alone. But I'm happy with being alone because like, less time obligations. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So no, I don't have a friend who's like Owen. I guess I'm like Owen, but without the big buff muscles and the money and the handsome face.
Hey! Stop that. You're adorable.
Oh, thank you.
Next question comes from Alvaro Osorio, because I'm no good at fucking words. When will Miss Corliss get a Sprite? And they went on to say that she is the most underrated character.
She deserves more love, yes. But I need to put more... Like, if I'm making sprites for Mrs. Corliss, I gotta make multiple ones for different moods. And that'll take time that I would rather put into other characters that take higher priority. Like, some point by the time I reach the Ginny route, she will definitely have a sprite, and I will go back and put them into the earlier parts of the game. But right now I have other things to prioritize, you know? And I think
Absolutely.
she's done fine without a sprite. It's fun to leave things to imagination. So
Absolutely, she is doing wonderfully fantastic times.
thank you, Mrs. Corliss.
Jesus. Started as a fucking Julia Child impression and then just got weirder. Next up, and I would advise you to pay attention to the wording here. Question from Mojave Red Fox asks, which species is better, foxes or dragons?
Which species is better, foxes or dragons? I like riding dragons, but I like being a fox. A foxy slut, if you know what I mean. It's hard to pick. Why would you ask a question like this? I'd pick dragons because I like my bad dragon dildos. They have brought me much joy. So yeah.
The reason I asked you to pay attention to that is because it came from Red Fox.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a bottom, though. I gotta pick my big, beautiful tops.
Gotta go what you gotta go with, I understand. The next question comes from Doodle Monster, who is the official channel artist. Ivy McCurdy, what is up? She asks, do you have any words of advice for novice creators looking to make their own visual novel? And what were your biggest challenges, and how did you overcome them?
I think the biggest, excuse me, I think the biggest challenge was definitely figuring out what the minimum viable product was, because like each update, you gotta have something done. But how do I put this? Visual novel. I think you gotta know where you should put your time. Like, if you're good at drawing, focus on the drawing, make the drawings good, and you know what? I have no fucking idea. But I think the biggest advice I can give to y'all is schedule your time wisely. Like, and if you're serious about developing this, at the end of every week, like, write like a development blog, like I've been doing on Patreon, and like just tell yourself, how much did I get done? What do I need to get done? And what are my goals for this month or this week or next week or the end of the year? And you're probably not going to meet every single one of them because that's fucking impossible. But understand your own capabilities and work with it, and you will make something good. And also be open to feedback, because like you might be your biggest critic, but you don't see things viewers do. So always take their advice and criticisms into account. Like, they're not always nice about it, but there's always something to gain, unless it's like your fucking art sucks or something. Like,
yeah.
Like, if there's something critical that you can take from a comment, take it and keep it in mind. Don't be a slave to it, but keep it in mind.
Very nice. Thank you very much for that. The next question, actually, you kind of answered already.
Oh boy.
Is from Melon Man, who asks, how come 8 months and no new video to Ben6033?
My Pornhub channel is BEN6033. Did I say that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Go view it now. There is a new video of me stripping down in a public bathroom at Sears in the mall. It's pretty short, but I think it came out pretty well. I need to learn how to lap dance or striptease better. But yeah, hope y'all like what you see. Watch my videos. I need that ad revenue.
The next question comes from Quibo Cruz, I think. And they asked, what are your plans after, hopefully, finishing Repeat?
I actually have like a couple other stories in mind that I want to work on, maybe towards the end of Repeat, so I have something to... always have a project on my hands. The working title for my second story idea is called Hanahaki Unrequited. If you're familiar with folklore, Hanahaki is a disease, a mythical disease, where if you have if you have feelings for someone and you keep it bottled up, you'll start coughing up flowers, and if you don't ever tell that person, you'll pretty much keep coughing up flowers and suffocate to death. So I want to play with that in the story. And the fun part is the only way to cure it is to confess your feelings or have it surgically removed, which also removes your feelings for that person. I feel like this is a very interesting mechanic to play with in a romance story. It'll probably be very short, like maybe last like 4 hours at most. But I want to try like a short story format in visual novel form. So
visual novella.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a really cool concept. I hope no one fucking steals it now that you've said it out loud.
Copyrighted Shirokoi.
The next question comes from Dylan, aka Loyalty of the Moon. How often do you plan on going to furry conventions, and what would you like to see more of from them?
I think the most readily available convention I can go to is Anthro New England, because that's like right inside Boston, where I can get to at all times. Besides that, I go wherever some of my friends go. Like a lot of them go to Anthrocon down in Pennsylvania. So I'll probably fly down there once or twice, but I'm probably mostly sticking to Anthro New England. As for what I'd like to see more, I don't know. I've met a few fans there, and they were so super sweet. We chatted for a while, and I'm like, yeah, I'm that asshole. Am I all you expected? And
have you ever fucked a fan?
Not yet. Anyone? I'm a bottom, though, so if you see me, fans, and we get together, we get along well, my asshole is yours and a furry con.
God damn.
I guess I'll probably do a bit more advertising at cons, like put out some artwork or pamphlets of Repeat. So yeah.
Make business cards.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You could do stickers. I know you said you were, doing stickers or whatever?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I figured out how to do stickers. They're a pain to cut out. I gotta figure out some stuff for this.
Nice. Next question comes from Chef, who asked, who is your favorite character in Repeat? Now, you have already answered this in another question, I believe, on Curious Cat, but this is more asking for an update on that. Is your favorite character still the same one that you said it was before?
So I feel like my liking for characters comes from the interest of growing them as characters, and like seeing them develop. The three main characters I love, but they're like typical romance. I don't want to say typical, but they're very predictable. My favorite character in the game so far is the side character Graham, because he and Owen's mother, Heather, they are very almost anti-hero-ish in things that they do, and I find that very interesting to write. So, yeah, I think those two are my favorites so far. And I can't wait to reveal more.
There you go, Chef. The next question comes from someone who had 3 questions, but I only one of them.
All right.
It's from Doombringer is my name. They asked, out of the main cast, which YouTuber do you think nailed the voices the closest? And can we perhaps hear your impersonations of those characters?
You probably make the most unique voices because you got that, like, you have a very adjustable voice out of everybody. Can I fucking do the Sissel Spoker voice? I'm not sure.
Let's see if you can.
Hey, you. No. Hey, Yuka. You twat. No. I'm not a voice actor. Can't do it.
Oh, you get a buzz for that one. That was lovely. That was lovely. Sending you good vibes. The next question comes from Mr. Nope0027, who asks, what attracted you to draw anthropomorphic beings in general? Now, you started with Pokemon, drawing Pokemon, but what drew you to anthro characters?
Alright, so here's my progression through the internet. Alright, I started off on fanfiction.com. I wrote a lot of fanfiction. Pokemon fanfiction. None of y'all will see it because holy fuck, the writing's bad. And then I moved on to DeviantArt. I drew a lot of Pokemon. Did any of you read the Pokemon manga? Because it's really good. Like the ones with
brutal too.
Yeah, like with red, yellow, and all that good jazz. Like I wrote like a 30-page fan comic of it, and then I stopped because school. But yeah, that's what kicked me off into drawing more as an artist. And then I noticed that my Pokemon art attracted more attention than my human art, so I started drawing more Pokemon. And then like Gen 5 came out and Duot came out, the little otter blue person, and like I really liked him. And as I kept drawing him, he started getting more and more humanized and anthropomorphic, and people seemed to like it. And like the furries started crowding around, and I saw more furries. I'm like, wow, this is kind of hot. So yeah, that's how I drew anthros. Woo!
Nice. And the last fan question comes from Cloud Underwood, who I paraphrase one for him, but basically they're asking, are there any plans for a prequel story, be it for the characters before they get to Garania, or perhaps for the previous generation of characters coming up, to go into the Lorelei and Adelaide? Are there any plans for tellings of the prequel to repeat?
I definitely have like ideas like written down for it. I really do want to make a prequel if I get the chance. It'll probably be centered around Samuel, Graham, and Heather, because those three have the most characterization so far. But you know that one line that Morse tells you towards the end of Sissel's route, where he's like, "Oh, I remember Cecilia. She taught me how to play chess." I have like a whole idea based around that, where that chess game changed their lives. And yeah, I really want to write it, but I need to fucking finish repeat. Oh my god. So many ideas, but no time to do it. So, yep.
Just make sure you write them down, because I would love to read it personally. I would love to see where that goes. All right, so the next segment is going to be one of two different interview games. Now, I really love it in interviews when they do at least this first one. The second one is kind of whatever, but the first one I've seen other people do it, namely in the Stone Cold podcast. He always does this, and I love it. So I'm going to do it with you, and I'm going to spice it up again with the good vibes, to see if you can focus enough to answer these coherently. So that's going to be lovely. So the first game is word association. Fucking love this. I'm going to say a word, name, whatever, and you have to say, for those who don't know how it works, it's the most common fucking interview game ever. It's your first thoughts, like a word, maybe two, a word or two, that first come to your mind when you hear these names, words. Yeah, there was only words or names. So there you go.
Sounds good.
Ginny.
Pure.
Echo.
Dead.
Sissel.
Funny boy.
Owen.
Buff boy. I'm very creative.
Yuka.
Naughty boy.
Philip.
Angry.
Renpy.
Shit. Yep, that sums it up. Who?
What? China.
China. Food.
Food.
They have some good ass food. Just saying.
Repeat.
When you say repeat, I just think like a repeat. Oh god, visual novel, and words. It's really hard to think when there's like a vibrator buzzing in your ass. Repeat. I almost thought job. Yeah, job is probably my thing. My beloved job. My dream job.
Shirokoi.
Me.
Decker Link.
Pier boy.
Wow, you need to get to know me a little better. Ookie Cookie.
Enthusiastic.
Jake the Fennec.
Also enthusiastic. It's hard to think. Orange. He's orange.
Orange, yes. The Reptilian Doctor.
Green.
Green. Life.
Fuck. Yep.
All right. That's all of the word association. 15. The second game is called Playing Favorites.
Oh.
I'm just gonna run through a short list of 10 things, and you say what your favorite of that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, your favorite movie.
Spy Kids. No. Shark Boy versus Lava Girl.
Game.
Warframe, obviously. My baby.
TV show.
I don't even watch TV much anymore. TV show. Full Metal Alchemist.
Nice. Fantasy.
Oh, like I love to be like in a gangbang. Just saying. That'd be real nice. Like a gangbang, a bunch of guys jerking off on top of me, getting railed one after another. Yep, I probably can't handle that at the moment, but I will train up to it.
Everything in time. Actor/actress.
Do I know any good actor? I don't know any. Taylor Lautner. He was in Shark Boy. Food. I don't eat. What do I eat? I really like cucumbers, stir fried.
You like cucumbers, huh? Season.
I like winter because I have excuse not to go outside.
Nice. Artist.
I really like Yume. Do you know? Have heard of her? She's got demon art. Her art is like gorgeous. She draws hella quick. I aspire to be like Yume. And I guess a furry artist is probably I can't pronounce his name. He does these fantastic Nuraki or whatever. I'll look it up later. Hard to think of a vibrator in my ass. Yep.
Song/band.
I had a hardcore Taylor Swift phase. I really like Teardrops on My Guitar.
Nice. That's an older one, isn't it? And last one, thing to do in a grocery store besides shopping.
Strip. I did try like getting all exhibition-y in a grocery store once. Not out in the open. I tried that and there were too many like middle-aged moms running around. So I had to do it in the bathroom in the back. Yep. That was fun.
Nice. All right. You made it through the games.
Nice. Felt real nice though.
Yeah, you're welcome. The last questions, there's just these 4 questions that kind of wrap everything up. These are going to be the last ones because we've already been talking for 2.5 hours.
Oh boy. Oh, bless you.
Thank you. The first question is, what is something you wish people would ask you just so you could answer it?
I think you guys already asked all the questions.
There isn't anything that you were just dying to tell someone, but no one's asked yet?
I don't know. Maybe. Oh, hey, Shirokoi, are you getting a fursuit? Why, yes, it's coming in November. And hopefully it goes well. I don't know. It's gonna be a partial. I'm gonna have paws and head and a tail. And
Nice.
yeah, that'll be fun. First
I
off,
have paws and ears.
Oh, which they're so fun. Like at cons, the furries are so positive.
Positive. Fucking puns! Next up, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
If I had a superpower, it'd be perfect health. Because, like, first of all, it's not strong enough that I'll have some, like, super responsibility or whatnot. But also, like, I can neglect sleep and eating to work. And think of all the extra hours I'd get. And I'd never get sick, which is an issue. And also, I can fuck all the guys I want and not get any, like, disease. Like, perfect health. And also, I can, like, skimp out on, like, health insurance because I will heal perfectly. And, like, I get to live a long life being a youthful man. And, like, gaining muscles and getting buff will be easier. Think of all the possibilities.
Nice!
Yep, perfect health. That'll be my thing.
What is your guiltiest pleasure?
Taylor Swift songs, I guess.
Really? You were pretty easy to admit that earlier.
I really like milk and cookies ice cream from Ben and Jerry's, but after I eat it, I feel sick. I guess I'm guilty about that.
There's something inside you telling you no. What would have to happen in your life for you to feel like you made it?
Have a stable job, all debts repaid, have a creatively fulfilling career. Yeah, that's about it. And make enough money to take care of my parents. That's my dream. Yep.
It's a big goal, and I'm sure it will come true one day.
One day.
And the way I'd like to wrap this up is, do you have any interesting or funny stories at hotels?
I've never been to, like... I mean, yeah, I've been to a hotel for Anthro, New England, but I haven't been to hotels much. I mean, at Anthro, New England, I gave a blowjob in the bathroom stall towards the end of it. I tried thirsting around, but I couldn't find anyone, so that's cool. Towards the end, we've been given the option to, like, stick around with some friends at a party or, like, go to, like, hook up. I stuck around with friends, and I didn't regret it one bit, because wholesome time with friends is better than sex.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. That's all the questions I have. Thank you very much for joining this, the debut edition of the all-new All of the Above. It has been a pleasure. This was a fun 2.5 hours. I really enjoyed it.
Real pleasure.
It is a real
For those of you who don't know, I've been like jerking off this whole time in front of the webcam.
Yeah.
It is. It's been nice.
So, without further ado, what is going on in your life? Tell them what to expect and what's coming down the pipeline.
I'm aiming for Sissel's route to be completed. Not completed, but the next update featuring Sissel's route is going to come out on the 15th. That's Friday, 5 days from now. Hopefully, if everything goes well. Shit's gonna go wrong. I'm probably gonna have to delay it 1 or 2 days, but I'm aiming for the 15th. And anything else? I am back home in my house for the summer. I'll have free time, so I'll be able to do more repeat on a regular basis. So updates will hopefully be bigger. I'm trying to be more active on Pornhub. Give me suggestions, or if y'all want to see me show up on podcasts with Decker Link being all sexual and whatnot, let me know. I'd be happy to return. Decker's been a joy in more ways than one.
Thank you.
I also have been recording like a video version of us, the webcam version. Let me know if y'all want to see it. I'll be happy to upload it somewhere with Decker's approval.
Yeah, I'll be fine with that.
Yep, and that's about it.
All right. So, without further ado, thank you all very much for joining us. And on the next episode, I don't have any like guests lined up. This is going to be a very irregular thing, so I don't really have any schedule for this. I don't have a plan. It's just going to happen when it does. I think that's a good way to live life. So until next time, thank you all very much for joining us. Until then, I've been the Trained Unprofessional, speaking for myself and Shirokoi. To say until next time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Fare thee well. Bye, everyone!
Bye.